My sister inherited everything after our dad died, but I just found out why, and it's worse than I ever imagined. I didn't cry at my father's funeral. I wasn't numb. I wasn't in shock. I was just angry. He died suddenly at 66, heart attack. It was quick, unexpected. One minute he was grilling burgers at his lake house in Minnesota. The next he was face down on the deck with ketchup on his shirt. I got the call from my sister, June, who sounded more annoyed than devastated. "I guess you should come up here," she said. When I arrived, June already had everything under control. She's that type, efficient, cold, always had our dad wrapped around her finger. I was the younger one, the sensitive one, the disappointment who left for California, went no contact for 3 years, and only recently started calling home again. The will was read the following week. That's when the bomb dropped. He left everything to June. Not just the house. Not just the cars. Everything. The cabin, his investment portfolio, the savings account with over $400,000. All of it hers. I got a handwritten letter tucked into an envelope marked with my name. It said, "You chose your own path. I hope you find peace in it." That's it. That's all I got. I could have accepted it, maybe, if June had shown an ounce of surprise. But she didn't. She was smug. She smiled when I read the letter. And later that night, when I confronted her, she didn't deny anything. She just said, "He left it to the child who stayed." I went to bed that night filled with rage. But the next morning, something strange happened. Our dad's neighbor, a retired teacher named Miss Carolyn, stopped me as I was getting coffee in town. She asked how I was holding up and then added something odd. "He always talked about how he was going to make things right with you." I thought he finally had. That sentence stuck in my head like a splinter. He was going to make things right? That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've found some very strange things in the house he left behind. Documents, emails, and a half-burned letter in the fireplace I reconstructed with Scotch tape and a lot of patience. And what I'm starting to realize is that the will wasn't as clean as June made it out to be. Something changed, something big, and very recently. The worst part? I think June had something to do with it. And if I'm right, then she didn't just manipulate our dad's final wishes. She stole my life. Update 1. I found a hidden USB drive in the workshop, and now I know why the will was changed. It's been a week since I posted, and I've been back and forth between flying into a rage and spiraling down rabbit holes of grief I didn't know I still had. But let's get to what you really want to hear. Yes, I found something. Something big. And it was buried in the place June never set foot, Dad's workshop. Let me back up. After that odd comment from his neighbor, I thought he finally made things right with you. I decided to stay at the lake house longer than planned. June had already gone back to the city. She's got her law firm job, her condo, her facade. She said I was welcome to take anything sentimental, which I'm sure she thought was generous, considering she got literally everything else. So I started going through the old place. And one morning, I walked into Dad's dusty workshop out behind the shed, the one with the broken padlock he never bothered to fix. It still smelled like sawdust, motor oil, and the cologne he wore since I was a kid. I didn't expect to find much. Maybe old tools. Maybe a half-carved birdhouse. What I found was a false panel in the floor. It was under a workbench, behind a row of paint cans. The wood slats weren't nailed in, just fitted together tightly, almost perfectly hidden. Underneath, inside a plastic tackle box wrapped in duct tape, was a USB drive, a folded envelope, and a photo of me and Dad when I was about 9, fishing, sunburned, smiling like we didn't know how fractured things would one day become. The envelope had one word written on it, in Dad's all-caps handwriting: "Forgive." I plugged the USB into my laptop at the local library. I wasn't risking it on my home setup. There were 5 folders, each labeled by date. The most recent was just 3 months before his death. Inside, audio recordings. Dozens of them. All short. All Dad, recording journal entries, rants, confessions. The first one I opened chilled me to the bone. He said, "I don't know what to do. June keeps telling me that you don't want anything from me, that you said so yourself, that you don't want the house or the money or the memories. But that doesn't sound like you. That sounds like her. Another. She came by again. Had me sign some documents. Said they were updates for the attorney. I didn't really read them. I trusted her. She's my daughter. But something feels off. I miss you, kiddo. I wish I could fix things. And this one. I left the will as it was for years, 50-50.
I don't know when it changed.
But I'm going to make it right. I swear I will. But he never did. He died before he could. I took the USB to a lawyer. One I trust. After she listened to a few of the files, she got very quiet. Then she asked, "Did you ever actually see the signed copy of the will?"
No.
June handled everything. She said it was all settled before the funeral. I just took her word for it, like an idiot. My lawyer's eyes narrowed and said, "Let's file a request with the probate court. If the will was altered recently, and there's no formal filing or witness, you may have a case." But here's the kicker. I called the estate attorney who handled Dad's will, a man named Douglas Grant, someone our family has known for years. And when I asked about the changes to the will, his exact words were, "I never received any request to alter your father's will. As far as I know, it still splits the estate between you and your sister. Equal shares." I asked him to double-check.
He did.
The version June filed was not the one he has on record. The signatures don't match. The witness signatures are different. And the notary listed on June's version? Retired in 2019. She forged it. My sister faked our father's will. And unless I stop her, she's going to get away with it. I'm meeting with my attorney again tomorrow. We're preparing to take legal action. It won't be easy. June has connections, money, and a lot of practice pretending she's the perfect daughter. But I have the USB. I have my dad's voice. And now, I finally have the truth. Update 2. I confronted my sister, and someone I never expected took my side. Also, my dad had a secret bank account. You all warned me it would get worse before it got better. And you were right. After finding out June forged the version of our dad's while she filed in probate, and confirming with the family's longtime estate attorney that the real one gave me half, I decided to confront her directly. And yeah, it got ugly. The confrontation. I met June at a coffee shop near her downtown office. I didn't warn her in advance. I just sent a text that said, "Need to talk.
Urgently."
In person. When I walked in and sat down, she looked up from her latte and gave me this tight little smirk, like she was already 3 moves ahead of me on the chessboard. "I assume this is about the estate," she said before I even opened my mouth. I took out my phone, played one of Dad's audio recordings from the USB, the one where he literally said, "I didn't really read the documents. June had me sign them." For the first time in my life, I saw her flinch. "I don't know what that is," she said, but her voice cracked. "You could have faked that. You always were good with tech." I laughed. Out loud. "Nice try. The estate lawyer confirmed the version you filed wasn't the one he drew up. You forged our dead father's signature, June. That's fraud." She got quiet. Her hands shook. And then she whispered, "You weren't there. You left him." I stayed. "I called him every week for the last 6 months. You just made sure he never told me what was going on." No apology. No shame. Just, "What do you want?" "Half," I said. "The half he actually wanted me to have." She got up and left. Didn't even look back. The ally I didn't expect. That same day, I got a call from someone I really didn't expect. Our cousin Claire. We weren't close growing up. She was June's age. Always more her friend than mine. But she said, "I heard you were looking into the will. I think you should know. June bragged about cleaning it up a few months before your dad passed." Apparently, Claire overheard June at a family gathering talking to one of her snobby friends, laughing about how everyone thinks I'm the golden girl, and now even the paperwork agrees. She said she didn't think much of it at the time, but after hearing from another cousin about the forged documents, she wanted to help. She signed an affidavit for my lawyer. That's 3 witnesses now. Me, with the USB, the estate attorney who confirmed the real will, and Claire, who heard June brag about fixing the will. It's more than enough to file a formal contestation in probate court. which is exactly what we're doing. The hidden bank account. While going through more of Dad's paperwork in the lake house, I found something strange. A manila envelope labeled tax stuff. Do not shred. Inside, a deposit receipt from a bank I didn't recognize, one that wasn't listed on any of the estate documents June had filed. Turns out Dad had a second bank account, just over $98,000 in it. When I brought it to my lawyer, she raised an eyebrow. Did your sister ever report this?
Nope.
She either didn't know about it, or didn't tell anyone on purpose. And since Dad didn't name a beneficiary, it defaults to the estate. Meaning, that account is part of what I'm owed. We've frozen the account and added it to the motion. June is going to have to answer for every dollar she tried to bury. Where we stand now, the will contestation is officially filed. We have audio recordings, a credible witness, and the original will verified by the estate attorney. The hidden bank account has been frozen and added to the estate valuation. My sister? She's not answering texts or calls anymore. Next step, court. I wish this ended in reconciliation, but she made her choice. She thought she could erase me from our father's legacy like I never existed. But I'm still here. And now I'm the one holding the truth. Final update. The court ruled, the truth came out, and my sister finally faced the consequences. It's over. After months of filings, depositions, and painfully reliving every fractured piece of our childhood in legal language, the judge gave the ruling 2 days ago. I've been sitting with it, trying to figure out how I feel. And honestly, it's not what I expected. Let me walk you through it. The court ruling. In probate court, we presented everything. The audio files from my dad, recovered from the hidden USB drive. The original copy of the will, certified by our family attorney. Testimony from our cousin Claire, who confirmed June talked about cleaning up the will. Forensic analysis that showed the signature on June's version didn't match Dad's known handwriting. Proof the notary June listed had retired years before the document was supposedly signed. In the end, it wasn't even close. The judge ruled that the submitted will was a forgery. My sister was found guilty of estate fraud and forgery. Her actions were referred to the local DA for potential criminal charges. But here's the kicker. Because she used the fraudulent will to access and begin liquidating estate assets, the court ordered her to repay all funds she touched with interest. That includes rental income from Dad's properties, a car she sold that she didn't actually own, and withdrawals from the bank account she tried to keep hidden. Everything she took, she has to give it back. What happened to June? She's not in jail yet. The DA's office is still deciding how aggressively to pursue criminal charges. But she's definitely lost. Her job at the law firm, they asked for her resignation the same day the verdict was announced. Her reputation in our family, even her so-called golden child status couldn't survive this. And most of her savings, since she has to pay restitution. She tried to call me once after the ruling. I didn't pick up. She texted, "I never thought it would go this far." That's the thing about consequences. They only feel far away when you've never had to face them before. The estate. The estate has now been divided 50-50 per the original will. That includes the lake house, which I'm keeping, more on that in a second. The investment accounts, already liquidated and split. The surprise $98,000 Dad had stashed in the second bank account, I used some of it to pay legal fees. I'll admit it, the money is helpful. I'm not rich, but I'm stable now. I moved back to Minnesota, not because I miss the cold, but because I want to make peace with where I came from. The lake house, the same one where Dad taught me to fish and to drive and to fix things with duct tape and swearing, is now my home. I'm remodeling it slowly, room by room. It's mine now, not because I took it, because it was always meant to be mine too. The final truth. There's one last thing I haven't shared yet. Something I found tucked inside the same folder with a fake will June filed. A post-it note in my dad's handwriting, clearly added after the fact. If you're reading this, I didn't fix it in time.
I'm sorry.
But I believe you'll find a way. I cried when I read it, not because it made things better, but because it proved one thing I'd been questioning for months. He did still love me, even after the distance. Even after the silence. Even after everything. And maybe that's what this whole fight was really about. Not just property or money, but being seen by the person who raised me, being counted, being remembered. So what now? Now I live in the house my father built. I'm working remotely. I sit by the lake in the evenings and listen to the loons and drink bad coffee and fix things slowly. Not just furniture, but myself too.
June?
I don't know. And I don't care. She got what she wanted for a while. But in the end, she lost everything trying to erase me. And me? I got it all back. Even the parts one thought were gone forever. Thanks for reading. Thank you for stepping into another tale with me. Every story unlocks a different world, and I'm glad you were here for the journey. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my stories, Unchained, where every ending is just the beginning of another adventure. Until next time, keep your mind open and your heart ready for the next story, Unchained.